I'm really sorry that I'm not at YFR, as I'm sure you all are. It's been part of my life for a very long time now. I've been to 7 of the events, including the very first one in 1992 at Kinmel Hall when I was 17 years old. I remember laughing a lot at that event. And I remember thinking that my friends, particularly the ones from Northern Ireland, were the funniest people on the planet. Well, they are. And I remember staying up all night on the final night and really thinking I was living the dream. I was at the next one at 1996, and I remember that for more spiritual reasons. The atmosphere on the Saturday night, particularly, was electric, and a lot of us felt we really wanted to live for the Lord Jesus and give him everything that we've got. After a while, I was asked to join the committee organising some of the events, and there were more all-nighters then for different reasons. One evening, I remember Duncan Hickling and Alistair Coomer and myself trying to work out whether the decanter that we had for the remembrance the next morning would hold enough liquid for everybody to get a sip. And we were sitting there doing all these abstruse mathematical calculations, trying to work this out. Well, there was, and everyone was able to have the remembrance the next morning. That was a good time in my life. I got to know my friend Rodney Johnson very well because he drove me up and down the M6 to committee meetings I don't know how many times. In 2000, the rug was kind of pulled out from under us because a few months before the event, Kinmel Hall closed down and was sold off, and we had to find another venue really quickly. You can imagine how hard it was finding a venue that was big enough to accommodate all these people, but one that we could also afford. It changed us from an attitude of, oh, we've organised a few of these events now and we kind of know what we're doing, to an attitude of just depending on the Lord and calling out to him in prayer. So the verse that I associate most with YFR is John 15 and verse 5, where Jesus says, "For apart from me, you can do nothing. Apart from me, you can do nothing." I'm sure the Lord has got a purpose in the disruption that has happened to the plans for YFR because of the coronavirus and the lockdown. He'll have a plan in it all. And maybe it's causing us, again, to ask the Lord for his help and to acknowledge our dependence upon him. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If he hasn't come back before next year, hopefully there'll be another YFR. But if he has come back, I like to think that heaven will be like YFR writ large, but with a bit less queuing for dinner.